Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. You're listening to the Synthwave radio show.
So cold, that's how I know somebody waits for us. When we're alone, when we're afraid, I feel them waiting on the edge of night. They're on the way. Hold my hand, run away with me. Don't look back, there's nothing to see. Close your eyes when you see ghosts all the time.
Welcome. You're listening to the Synthwave radio show. I am your host, Danny D. You've just heard Young Empress with Ghosts, and we are joined by both of the members of Young Empress here with me today. Guys, it's Rebecca and Robin, right? Thank you very much for coming on the show. Great track. Lovely use of sax there as well at the end. Really enjoyed that bit. Can you just let our listeners know a little bit about yourselves, how you guys first met and got the group started?
Yeah, well, we've known each other for about 12 years now. We've been writing music for just as long. Been in a couple of other bands before, but just in different genres.
Oh, cool.
And then not too long ago, we sort of started writing more sort of synthy, dancey tracks and developed it into what is Young Empress now. We wrote a few tracks before the lockdown hit, and the sort of pandemic forced us to, come up with some spare time on our hands to think, well, let's just throw this out and see what people think. So Young Empress was born, really.
Cool. Well, and what's the reaction been like?
Really positive. Like, everybody's been really complimentary. I think we found that within this synthwave community, everybody's just super supportive of each other, and it's a really nice little environment.
Yeah, they're a good bunch of good eggs there. Yeah, we were really welcomed by everybody online who was listening to the tracks and sending us some really nice feedback. So it was really cool to know that people were digging it, but also that everyone was really nice and also creating some really good music themselves. So we've come across so many musicians that we've never heard of before, and now we're vibing off their stuff as well, which is cool.
There's so much great unheard music out there, and you just lift a lid on something like this and you find loads of stuff, don't you? But
Yeah.
I'm keen to find out a bit about the process you go through when you're making a track. Are you playing these instruments, or are you getting hiring musicians?
So with Ghosts, the only thing that we didn't play on that was the saxophone, because neither of us can. But
it was written originally on a synth, so I played the original melody, but for authenticity, we had to get a guy in to come and play it properly for us.
Oh,
but the majority.
That's cool. Go on. Sorry. No, go on, Robin.
So
Sorry.
the majority of the stuff that we put down, we play ourselves. Sometimes we've got a couple of guitarists that we know that I play my guitar myself, but they're traditional lead guitarists, so they'll come in and just face melt a solo at the end of the track and take it to a level that we couldn't take it. But the majority
we write it ourselves. It's all written in house. It's just sometimes if somebody can do something slightly better than us, then we draft them in. But
hey, I think that's great. I think it's great that you get live musicians in. I was listening to the saxophone and I thought, there's no way that's programmed on a computer. That's,
no, that's a real person.
It was a bit of a sore subject with the actual saxophonist.
Because it was written on a keyboard, because I'm a keys and synths player, so
Sure.
It was written on there. We didn't really think about the key or having to transpose it for anybody, so it was a real painful experience for the person playing it live, because I don't think it should be in that register, to be honest.
Okay.
So the guy really struggled to get it out, but we're really happy with how it sounds. He's done a stellar job.
Where can people find you on places like social media and Instagram and things like that? What's your tag?
Everywhere. You can write us a fax if you want to.
Fax?
We'll go on. No, we've got Facebook, Instagram. We've even got a TikTok going, and majority of our stuff comes under Young Empress without any vowels. So you can find us at YNG Empress on all your usual sort of social media platforms, and we're quite a friendly pair. We'll talk back to you if you want to send us a DM. We'll have a chat to you. We often do.
And the music, is that on Bandcamp and places like Spotify and Apple Music?
Yeah, everywhere. You can stream us anywhere you like. We've got YouTube channel if anybody wants to watch the more visual stuff. But yeah, we've got Spotify, Apple Music, and a Bandcamp as well, where you can actually buy the tracks as well.
Now, we've got 3 tracks of yours we're playing through today. I think all 3 are out now, aren't they? Ghosts, Home, and Peacemaker was the third one. Is that right?
Yeah, they're all out, all good to go.
You got any plans to do any videos or anything like that for Home, or any future hits?
Well, we're currently in the process of editing. Well, we're not editing, but we've, over the course of lockdown, we've been lucky enough to get work with some great people and actually create a short film.
Okay.
Of which the 4 tracks that you will find on our socials and streaming platforms will be the soundtrack to that film.
Oh, cool.
Have
you got a title for the film?
It's just Young Empress.
Oh, cool. Oh, no, cool.
Self-titled, why not?
And it's kind of, without giving too much away, it's a homage to all of our favourite sort of 80s nostalgia, and it's kind of Anthony, who's directed it, would probably hate me saying this, but it's Spielberg-esque in the the way that it's the storytelling and the way we've tried to get the aesthetic.
When do you think that'll be out?
It'll be at some point over the summer. Date yet to be revealed. This is a problem that we've got so many little projects that we're spinning, and so we're like, we'll do this, and we commit to so many things that we run out of time. So yeah, we're trying to balance it alongside writing tracks that we're putting together for an album that's going to be out at some point this year as well.
Cool.
So film will be out before the album. So that's probably where you'll get a bit more of a visual for the track Home that we released, and it'll go along hand in hand with that.
Well,
yeah,
I was just
some
sorry,
point
I
it'll
was
be
just
there.
going to ask you about that track Home, because that's the song we're going to play next. Can you tell me a little bit about this song? How did it get started and come about, and does it have any sort of meaning?
Yeah, well, this was actually the first track we ever wrote together as Young Empress before we'd even given ourselves like the band a name. We'd been playing around with some sounds across the year, and then we wrote this track and sort of shelved it and never really thought anything of it. When Young Empress started to get off the ground and we started to put out tracks, we had other things lined up that we put out, Peacemaker and Ghost, and then Christine. And then this was actually coming back to the original, very, very first track that me and Robin wrote together, that we thought actually we might be onto something here. So yeah, Home's kind of where it all started, really.
Wow. And this is your most recent release. So it's the first one you've sort of wrote, but it's sort of the last one that's officially come out. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
That's cool. And when did it come out? What was the actual date? How long has it been out now? It's only been a few weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been out about 8 weeks, a couple of
8
months.
weeks.
Yeah.
But we so this was the first one we released. So we signed with Aztec record, and this was the first release through them.
Yeah.
So we had to go through and do it properly rather than through ourselves.
Just pulling a date out thin air. We go, we'll put it out next week. We had to actually like.
Yeah, when you've got a label involved, they are quite professional people, aren't they?
Yeah, so basically, yeah, they were sorting it all out for us, and yeah, they've released it into the ether and done a stellar job getting it spinning around.
Hey, they're great guys. They're great guys. Well, what we'll do is we'll go straight into this. This is Young Empress with Home.
I think I got away with it again. Closed my mouth and spoke to you in 100,000 silent ways, setting fire to worry and paper, filling our lungs with anyone but the one. Close your eyes and tell a lie. It's another way to say goodbye. I've realized I'm better on my own.
Welcome back. Welcome back. That was Young Empress there with Home. We've got both the team here with me today. If you're listening on Leicester 107.5 FM, please remember you can go to YouTube and watch the full interview and video. Just search Synthwave Radio Show Young Empress. Another great track. Love it. What's the reaction been like on this one so far?
Yeah, really good. Like we said, because this one's come out with the support of Aztec Records, it's widened the audience even further than we had before when we released the three previous tracks. So lots of different people from across the world are listening to it now, which is insane. So it's nice to hear how it's received sort of across the globe instead of just in our little sunny Wolverhampton where we are locked up in our studio. Yeah, we've been really pleased with everybody's reactions. It's been really, really good.
Now, tell me how you've been dealing with the lockdown, because obviously we can do some bits, you can get into a studio and do things, but were you sort of hoping to do live gigs and have to have things put off, or?
Yeah,
how's it been?
It's been an interesting time because in one way it's been really productive for us because we have got this a huge sort of backlog of tracks that we want to try and wrap up and finish, and like I said, try and get an album done. And usually what we'd be doing is trying to figure out how we can play this live as well and hit the live circuit. And what it's allowed us to do is kind of really hone in on the skills that we needed to step up on, I guess. So the production side and really try and get the tracks sounding as good as they possibly can. So that side's been really productive.
Yeah, it's sort of forced us into finishing tracks that probably would have sat on our hard drives for way too long. But it's meant that we can focus purely on the writing and not have to worry about gigging or anything like that. But like Rob said, it's given us the sort of time to think, oh, okay, well, when we do take this to stage or do a live show, whether it's online or in person, like, what does that look like? Who do we need? Can we do this ourselves, or do we get our little band of mates together and make it a proper show?
You know what? I want to see a full Aztec Records tour. That'd be awesome. Big European tour. Yeah. I'm gonna get onto them about it because
we'll have a word. We want that to happen. So please tell them to include us.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know you've obviously got a fairly busy 2021. You've got this film, you got the new album coming out. Have you been jumping on these live streams at all?
No.
No.
No, because the issue's been is that realistically we still have to abide by certain rules within this country where we have to stay 2 meters apart, and there's only so much we could do. So originally, when lockdown first hit, we were writing completely separately. We were in our homes at home. We literally ran to our studio just as the lockdown hit. We grabbed all of our gear and went and set up a mini studio back at home. And we don't live together as much as people think we do. It's just a happy coincidence that we share the same surname. He's I mean, I tell people he's my dad, but yeah, he's not my husband. He's not my brother. But you know, we're as good as relatives, I suppose. We've been knocking about together for so long. But yeah, we had to grab stuff and go back to each other's houses and say, right, what can we get together quickly so we can carry on making this happen? And then as the restrictions started to ease, we were able to, and with the film as well, there was a certain sort of loophole for professional musicians to be able to still get together if that was creating an income for them. So me and Robin were then able to return to the studio but still keep a distance apart.
Yeah.
And test regularly, you know, as if it was our normal sort of 9 to 5. So yeah, it's only very recently we've been actually sort of in the same room. So the live streams, that's meant to have been on hold because everything that we want to do it right. And we don't want to do it where we're across the room from each other and, you know, having to wipe down our instruments and our microphones every 2 seconds. But we're coming to the tail end of it now, hopefully. So we're planning some interesting background to get people involved and stuff, some live streams and get on Twitch.
Well, I want to ask you, because this looked really cool. You sent out a sort of memo to all your fans to send some vocals in for a track you're in the middle of making. Is that right?
Yeah. So we are in the final process of mixing down, which will be our next track. We can say the title, right?
Don't get a spoiler.
Spoiler. Okay.
Are we allowed? I don't know if we're allowed. We see these are rules that we have to abide by now that we're sold. We're not the boss anymore. We've got a new track coming out very, very, very soon, and this is sort of the icing on the cake, the finishing touches, where we thought, do you know what, we've got an element where we want to get fans and other musicians involved that we wouldn't have had sing with us previously. So here's a little task for you. This is what we want you to do.
And it's kind of like a crowd vocal. So if you were in a gig watching us play, and you'd be singing along with us, we kind of wanted to try and group as many vocals and people doing this as possible to make it feel like you're, watching us live.
Because we tried to do this ourselves. We've got an excellent TikTok on the way where there's me standing on my head, covering my mouth, going inside my hoodie, like trying to make a million different voices to make a massive crowd vocal. And it does sound cool, but it's very much still me and Rob. And we needed more than that. So from across, as remotely as possible, we just grabbed as many friends and musicians from bands that are on the label as well. I'm not going to say who's on, but yeah, it'd be a nice surprise for everybody.
I was gutted I missed out on that. I'll definitely make sure I'm watching a bit more closely next time for the next one.
We'll get you on the next one.
Yeah, brilliant idea though. Brilliant idea. This next song of yours, we've got Peacemaker. Am I right in thinking this came out about a year ago?
Yeah, so this was the first one we released as Young Empress. So we kind of, this was at the period when we were like, should we just throw something out?
Yeah, we've got a track, let's see what happens. And we genuinely thought we were going to chuck it out online and have nobody listen to it, nobody really care, and just feel, oh, Beck and Rob are in a band, that's cool. And we weren't really ready, I don't think, for where it was going to go. But here we are.
Here we are.
And we got a lot of love for this track, and it was interesting because this track especially, we didn't know where it sat within, whether it was synthwave, retrowave. There's so many offshoots of this little
branch of music.
Yeah, and we were like, where does it sit? And we kind of put it out, and we've had so much love for it.
We didn't need to worry about it. It did what it did, and that everybody found us, which is great.
I hear what you're saying though. There is so many different offshoots. There's Dreamwave, Mediterranean wave, retro wave. For me, if it's got some sort of synth in it anywhere, it qualifies for the show. But
we passed it.
Yeah, you guys straighten. We'll get on with this. We'll play this next track. This is Young Empress with Peacemaker. That was Peacemaker by Young Empress. Guys, another great track. I've got to be honest with you. I don't know which one's my favorite. I think it might be Peacemaker. I think it might be that one. But to all our viewers and listeners, let us know in the comments down below. Before we go, can you just remind us one last time where we can find you on your social medias and things like that?
Yes, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere else.
Bandcamp?
TikTok.
Are you on Bandcamp?
Bandcamp, YouTube,
SoundCloud.
Spotify, SoundCloud. Anyway, come round to our houses if you want. Just knock on the door. We'll give you a live show. Just stand 2 meters away, and we'll have a sing song.
You'll have hundreds of people turning up tomorrow now.
Yeah, got a busy day.
No. Well, you know, guys, you've been great. Thank you so much for coming on the show again. Brilliant music.
No, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, it's been good chatting. Thank you.
Can I ask if you'd come on again, maybe later on in the year when you've got the album out and the video, because it'd be cool just to hear from you again about that and see how things are developed.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to. Thank you.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Well, great stuff. Well, it's a big thank you from me and goodbye. And thank you again to Young Empress for coming on the show. And we will see you all again right here on the Synthwave Radio Show next week.